Hello again. Here are my 3 questions and my 3 answers. What flight symptoms do you experience when publicly speaking? I get butterflies in my stomach. My heart beats faster. Sometimes I hear and feel my heart pounding. My breathing increases to where I have to concentrate to take slow, deep breaths. I feel the adrenaline flow and my focus narrows. I feel energized and my body's ready to fight. When I look up, I don't see anybody. My mind is completely focused on my speech. 2. Which one of the dysfunctional anxieties do you most relate to the most? I'd have to say the dysfunctional anxiety that I relate to the most would be of type of speech, varying responses. I never received training for, this is my first public speaking class, so I never received training for any of the speeches I ever had, besides looking things up. I do remember when my first speech was, but I know it was in high school. However, I will relate a speech I do remember, and it's comparable with the earliest speeches. Also, I believe the speech I'm about to relate puts everything into extremes. The speech was my final project speech for college. It encompassed about 10% of my grade. Well, this is really big for a speech. That means if I do poorly, my whole semester goes down by 1 grade point. My grade for coming into the speech wasn't very good, so a lot was riding on this speech. I had to get it right or else. Just like so many speeches before, I had parameters. It was a 20-minute speech, graded on content, clarity, use of props, visuals and graphs, and not looking dead. My audience were the students I had come to know for the years of studying side by side with them. However, the grade came from the teacher. I asked to go first. That way I wouldn't try to compare myself with everybody that would come before me. Also, it would help with the time, because if I screwed up, I wouldn't have to race against the janitor who was ready to close the doors. And it also put up, I kind of depended on the teacher for leniency for this one, because, yeah. I practiced my speech over and over until I had it pseudo-memorized. I couldn't memorize it because I had to use index cards. I had a lot of information to convey. I had visuals to incorporate, and I had to try to not look dead. Being first was a very good decision because I so concentrated on the content, clarity, and use of visuals and not looking dead that I exceeded the time limit by about 5 to 10 minutes. To summarize, the anxiety I always got from a speech had to do with the grade and how I viewed a grade as part of my life. Before the end of college, a grade determined what I would do for the rest of my life. If I got good grades, I'd get a good paying job I enjoyed. If I got bad grades, I'd have to scramble for any job I could get. These are high stakes. Each speech was different, but the fear was the same. Do this part of my life right. Mistakes now, well, back then, were relatively easy to recover from. Mistakes later might not be so good. 3. What strategies for managing speech anxiety sound most appealing and or work best for you personally? Please explain. Prayer and practice is my way to go. This strategy actually comes a bit from my time on the high school swim team. We did practice to achieve victory. So when it came time to do a speech, that's what I did. I didn't have any other way or know another way of doing it. However, part of the practice for a speech is memorizing. If I got to memorize my speech, I didn't actually have to think about it. It just becomes a reaction. But this didn't work so well after the first couple of speeches. So memorizing key points and practicing what I might say or do became more important. So practice involved actually finding out what I might do or say in front of people and incorporating or distancing myself from that in practice.